Today on Dusty Vision Radio, we are going to discuss a film that had a huge impact, not just on the country, but on the world. A lot of people would say it was a negative impact, but it is a classic, no doubt. We're going to discuss the 1988 film Colors.
Colors does for the inner city cop what Platoon did for the foot soldier in Vietnam. Dennis Hopper is a genius, says Michael Medved of Sneak Previews. A revelation, says Gene Siskel. 2 thumbs up from Siskel and Ebert. Urgent, honorable, you can't take your eyes off it. David Anson, Newsweek. Sean Penn. Robert Duvall. A Dennis Hopper film. Colors, rated R.
I remember like it was yesterday. I was 10 years old. And I remember hearing the hype about this movie, Colors, that was coming out, that was going to tell the real story about what's going on in the streets. It was a phenomenon. And it spread, some would say like cancer, all throughout the country. Now let's talk about what was going on in Los Angeles before the movie Colors came out. 1988. Los Angeles was a war zone. And when I say war zone, I mean it was a war zone. Los Angeles was a battleground. Even for a civilian such as myself, we had to walk a certain way. We had to talk a certain way. We had to go a certain route to and from school. I remember my mom telling me to walk down certain streets when I was living in East Side Long Beach because she would have to go to work. So I would have to walk back and forth to school. And she said, hey, go down this street, go down this street, go down this. Don't go down that street because a lot of stuff goes down that street. And I didn't understand until later that that's where the blue team hung out. Right there on 21st and Long Beach Boulevard, Elm Avenue. Anyone from Long Beach knows the area. So it was a different time where you had to teach your kids how to be street smart. Of course, me being a kid who didn't listen too well at times, I decided one day to go down that street that my mom told me not to go down. And it reminded me, you guys have seen Boys in the Hood when a young Trey was walking home from school. There's people shooting dice. Right? They get into a little squabble. And it was a lot of chaos, but I remember it like it was yesterday. The Crips looked 7 feet tall to me, a little 9, 10-year-old. I remember like they looked like giants. And I remember the blue rags. I remember it very, very vividly. But Los Angeles as a whole, in the 80s, was going through it. Crack had just entered the scene, for maybe 3-4 years before this movie came out. The cops weren't playing because they knew what they were up against. More money, more crack meant bigger weapons. So instead of the old 22s that the police were used to seeing when they would pull someone over, or the 38s, the 38 specials, now they're seeing Uzis and Mac 10s. And no, these are not just names of rappers. These are real guns that people were rocking back in the day. It was definitely a different time. LAPD was not playing. They had this thing called the Batarang. A Batarang. Come to my place. Shout out to Toddy T. Shout out to Mixmaster Spade. But the Batarang was a real thing. It was a big old van, a big old truck with a big block thing on the front, a big ramming thing, and they would just bust through people's houses, man. Alleged crack houses. And boom, and just tearing up shop. Because these crack houses were so elaborate that by the time the police would get into them, they have all the drugs stashed away, or they flush them down the toilet, or stuff like that. So now the cops are like, okay, we're going to build this big ass thing. We're just gonna bust through the side of your shit and rush in. And they sure did. They sure did. Sometime they went into the wrong home. Oops, sorry. My bad. I meant to go to oh, this is 336. Sorry. We meant to go to 338. Ooh, no! So they got rid of the battle ram pretty quick because they made that mistake several times.
The battle ram rolled the streets of Los Angeles and terrorized the neighborhoods like it's nobody's business. The battle ram was a tank that they created in Daryl Gates, the chief of police for the LAPD. He created a tank because during the crack era, people learned how to fortify their houses. I mean, it would take forever for them cops to break into a crack house because they had the gate, they had the bars on the doors, they had the doors double reinforced. You had double bar doors, and sometimes you may have double windows. And because one, you had to keep the robbers out and the police. And the crack cocaine does not flush or dissolve in water like powder cocaine. So you need some time to dispose of that shit before the cops get there. And they most of the time when they would finally get into the house of the crack house, the cocaine would be gone. So they found a way to just tear them all down, just come to the wall. So they put a big ass metal plate on the barrel of a tank, a metal plate on the barrel of a tank, and they would just pull that something around the side of your house and come through like a lowrider and just come right through the living room. But the problem with that was a lot of times they'd go to the wrong houses, or sometimes they would smash down the door of a bedroom and kill people. Okay, they'd hurt kids and shit like that. So it just became a nuisance. And most of the time they carried the damn thing on a tank. So people started coming, they had to take it off the trailer, and they saw it coming. Hey man, the battery on the way to your house, dude. So anybody that was selling dope, you still got a heads up.
Oh yeah. So
it just became kind of useless after a while. Then they found out a way how to actually get them doors off a lot faster. And using crackheads to, it became a whole cat and mouse game. But the battle ram had us run. Toddy T made a record about it, made a hit record about it. And shortly after that, I think it was ACLU found it to be unconstitutional.
Yeah.
But it's still around. My boy Matt McDaniels, he took some pictures of it down at the police museum. It's still around. It still exists.
But it was going down, and the ones contributing, the ones profiting off of this new white rock that was flooding the street were the C's and the B's. And that made them protect their territories a lot more. That made them, because territory equals money. The more territory you give up, the more money you're giving up. So it was legit a war zone. And anyone who survived the 80s, whoo, man, anyone who survived the 80s, especially as a kid, I commend you. We're a different type of warrior, even the civilians like myself. But Colors came out 1988, and I was not allowed to go see the movie. I had to wait until it came out on video, because every other week someone was getting busted on at the movie theater when they went to go see it, and innocent civilians were getting hit in the crossfire. And my mom was like, no.
Already it has sparked a variety of protests and worries that it could inspire more violence.
It incites and inflames the issue.
Like pouring gasoline on a fire. We have a fire going already.
The filmmakers disagree, claiming it is nothing more than an accurate reflection of everyday reality, filmed with the help of police and gang members.
This movie is not going to incite violence. It's going to educate people to what's really happening so that maybe there can be some answer to the problem that exists.
In the real world of gang violence, Los Angeles police have just received $4.5 million in emergency funds to press their war against the gangs.
We're going to obliterate the gangs that are involved in gang violence.
That apparently means more of the massive sweeps that have involved up to 1,000 officers. Last weekend, police arrested more than 1,400 persons, just over half of them suspected gang members. Many, if not most, are back on the streets again, but some residents think there's an improvement.
Much better, but like about 100%.
Still, there remains skepticism.
Is it any different?
Not really, because they don't pick up the right guys. The people that cause trouble, they still out there.
Some critics complain the movie Colors offers no solutions to the gang problem. In gang neighborhoods, residents hope for solutions too. The problems are all too familiar.
I do remember almost begging my stepfather, "Man, can you take me? I won't say anything." Like, I remember, and he was like, "Nah, man, your mom would whoop my butt." But it was just a sad time because people were getting popped on at the movie theaters. Rival sets were showing up at the Lakewood Mall to watch the movie or wherever they would watch it. A lot of places didn't cover it. And what does that do? That's free advertisement, man. Every time it shows up on the 10 o'clock news, another person popped at a movie theater. That just made kids, sadly, want to go see it again. What's this movie everyone's talking about? What's this movie that everyone is shutting down their theater for? Like, what is going on? So the allure was out there.
Security at a number of movie theaters, all because of this film. Colors, starring Sean Penn and Robert Duvall as two Los Angeles cops up against street gangs, gets high marks for realism, but authorities are worried that this looks too much like this, the scene of one of almost 400 gang-related murders in Los Angeles last year alone, and that the movie's depiction of tension and violence between gangs is so graphic it could incite more on the streets. One deputy sheriff warns if the movie is shown here, there will be dead bodies from one end of town to the other. The NAACP is asking that it be banned in Los Angeles.
What it will do is incite young gang members to policemen, incite young gang members like they're doing now to people on the street.
And this was at a time, ladies and gentlemen, and I guarantee, I bet a bottom dollar that Colors was one of the top rented videos back in the day. Back in 89, 90, whenever it came out on video, because, it always obviously hits the theaters first, then it comes out on video. That's when I saw it. I saw it in the comfort of my own home, and I think I watched it the first day. I watched it back to back 3, 4, 5 times. It was just fascinating to me. I bet so many video places profited off of Colors. And then they'd record it for their cousin who lives in Texas. They record it for their cousin who lives in Kansas City. They record it for their cousin who lives in Las Vegas. And this movie spread like wildfire. And I've had plenty of people on my show. And throughout this program, I am going to be playing clips of past interviews of people that I have interviewed myself, mainly former gang members, gangbangers, who are going to share their experiences about the movie Colors. And they're going to be from all over the country. Denver, San Antonio. I'm going to play clips of them because I want you to hear their story of how Colors influenced their town.
It was very influential because I'm going to tell you, when Colors came out in 1988, me and my homeboys, we caught the bus to Alondra 6 movie theater. That's when movies was 75.
Heard that in a long time.
Yeah.
Wow. Alondra 6.
We caught the bus up there to the movie theaters, and we snuck in because we were still teenagers. So we snuck in with some adult dudes. We got in or whatever, but we sitting there watching this movie and seeing the first scene where, Rock is in this van, they getting high. They smoking his sherm with all this stuff, blue rags everywhere. That made me just feel like, man, I want that so bad. I want that power. That looked to me, that was like power to pull up on a guy, put your gun out and just blow him away You know, at that time it was like, man, that's what I want right there. You know, so we took that back. Well, I took it back. You know what I mean? Go back to the house. You know, you put on your NWA. You stand in the mirror as a kid, got your lokes on, and you flexing your muscles and all this stuff, and you know what I mean. You acting like you got a gun on you, and you trying to practice how to pull a gun out, and do all these maneuvers and stuff with your gun. So it was very influential to me.
I've heard so many people, too many to count, say that the movie Colors is why people in their neighborhoods started banging. Yes, sets and hoods were going to other places across the country, Seattle, Portland, like to sell dope. Let's keep it real. Dope and the movie Colors. I'm going to go all out. Dope and the movie Colors and NWA. Damn, and banging on wax. I think those are the 4 factors of gangs spreading across the country.
When Colors came out, like you said, of course it had an impact on us all. We were youngsters. You know what I mean? That movie was just crazy. But I tried to actually, being me, I had influence on some of the little younger homies around me and shit, and I tried to low-key, like, after Colors came out, I thought I was going to start my own game, right? I was going to call myself Easy, homie. All of that shit, because, Easy was out there. Again, like, I'm only one of the black dudes around there, so I felt special, so I'm like, I'm going to start my own little gang, homie. I'm going to call myself Easy, and I gathered up all the little homies up under me, and they were with it, and we low-key started that shit. It went on for about a week, homie, until one day we was up at the little school, and some of the older homies from my neighborhood were up there, and they seen me write that shit on the wall, and the initials were BC, because we were going to start the gang. It was going to be called Big Crazy Lokes or something, me and another dude came up with. So the initials were BC, and I think I hit it up on the wall, and one of my older homies now, which from my neighborhood, he's my big homie, he seen that shit one day. He's like, what is that? Because the initials are really the same as my neighborhood. So he's like, what is that? And I'm telling him, he's like, nah, you know what I mean? Hell, he shut that shit down. So that shit only lasts like a week. I just tell that story because it's funny. But, I eventually became from my neighborhood. But that's the impact Colors had on us.
Yeah,
though, as a youngster.
Yeah, and just think about how many hundreds of, if not thousands of people did exactly what you did all across the country. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. I think that movie really, and a lot of people, like a lot of older homies too, a lot of people look at that movie as kind of corny. A lot of people from LA like older dudes. But like I'm saying, if you young at that time, that impacted you. It impacted the whole world, bro. You know what I mean? So of course it impacted a lot of people. And I think that movie really changed the game. That along with a few years later, NWA and all of that, and Ice Cube and all of that, where he was talking when people started moving around and the drugs and all that, and people going out of the state. But I think Colors really started everything, man. As far as these out of state gangs and Crips and all of this, they were influenced by Colors for sure.
I've been interviewing people for 5-6 years now, from all over the country. And I've just heard it time and time again. Colors is the reason why, or Colors turned us up more. We wanted to be like the people in the movie.
You know how it goes, especially for Colors. I remember seeing it when I was young. You know what I'm saying? 90s and all of that. Like, nigga, I already knew what was up. I'm rocking like that.
Now let's talk about the movie. Now, Colors was supposed to originally take place in Chicago. Did you guys know this? Little known fact. Dennis Hopper, little known fact, was going to originally place the movie in Chicago. And get this, guys. It was going to cover mainly the cough syrup epidemic. That's right, 1988. See, you kids think in the 2000s, oh, the lean thing, oh, that's all new and all that. Oh, they just started doing lean. The cough syrup epidemic has been around for decades. And Colors was originally supposed to take place in Chicago, of all places, and it was supposed to cover the cough syrup epidemic. Apparently, there was a huge cough syrup epidemic, mainly, or not specifically, but in Chicago, as well as a lot of other places. How interesting is that, huh? Would it still be the same movie? if it took place in Chicago, like would they have I wonder if they would have GDs, vice lords. But what I understand is they were going to make it more of a dope dealing type of movie, not a banging movie, which it eventually turned into when I believe it was Dennis Hopper got a hold of the script. Someone else got a hold of a script and they said, it would be better off to talk about this huge problem that Los Angeles is facing right now. Yeah, these guys wearing red are popping at these guys wearing blue, and they're just going back and forth. So let's make a movie about that. And ding, 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 ding. Here we go. 1988, starring Sean Penn and Robert Duvall. At that time, I kind of knew who Sean Penn was. He was in the news and things for like dating Madonna and stuff like that. Like I kind of knew who Sean Penn was. Robert Duvall, I saw him in a lot of movies as a kid. Sean Penn plays the young cop. Robert Duvall plays the seasoned veteran, right? Sean Penn's the hothead, the one who wants to go out there and just clean up the mean streets, man. It's time to clean up these mean streets. And Robert Duvall, he has seen everything 100 times in these streets, and probably 100 guys like Sean Penn. But they were part of the CRash unit. CRash stood for, let me see if my memory serves me correct, Community Revolution Against Street Hoodlums. And that was a department of the Los Angeles Police Department. That was a sector of the Los Angeles Police Department that focused on the huge gang problem in Los Angeles.
A typical scene in South Central Los Angeles last night. A man another pistol whipped, believed to be gang-related. Gang violence is increasing every year. For 1989, law enforcement officials estimate 3 people will be killed every 2 days. The primary reason, drugs. In Los Angeles County, the statistics are staggering. 1 drug arrest every 6 minutes, $20,000 worth of seized every hour. Los Angeles is rapidly replacing Miami as the country's distribution center, and that's the other part of the problem. Many of the LA gangs have become entrepreneurs, importing from South America and exporting it to every major city in the country. They started in the West. Crack houses raided in Las Vegas, Portland, Phoenix, and other cities. Today, one LA gang has become the major supplier of crack cocaine in Washington, D.C.
Hundreds of additional officers and command posts set up throughout the city. Police swept through the streets of Los Angeles over the weekend, rounding up scores of suspected gang members. By the time the weekend was over, more than 1,200 people had been arrested. In a vow to take back the streets of LA, police have declared a major war against the city's gangs, whose violence has already left nearly 100 people dead since the beginning of this year. Some of the victims, innocent women and children.
But we do have a war here on gangs, and we're going to continue that war until it's finished.
The mayor of Los Angeles says he'll see to it that pressure on the gangs doesn't let up.
We're going to show them that we're determined to run them off these streets.
Police plan more anti-gang tactics in the weeks ahead. People who live in neighborhoods of high gang activity say the crackdowns are long overdue.
100% for the police force coming through looking for these gang members.
Police say their obligation to get rid of gangs goes beyond the people of Los Angeles. They feel any success here will influence police efforts to battle this growing problem in cities all across the nation.
This weekend in Los Angeles, 8 people, 4 seriously wounded, half of them in gang-related violence. Everything from turf battles to drug deals gone bad. A normal weekend. Statistics treated like a box score. A week ago, the gangland carnage claimed 12 victims. Another normal weekend. The gang's body count continues at an even higher rate than last year, but except in the ghetto itself, the killings now produce few headlines and no outrage.
I think the community, the general population, has come to expect it. And in the worst case, they think that we'll let them kill each other.
Last year, it was different. The gangs had done the unthinkable, dared to venture into the backyard of the general population, a woman in the affluent, mostly white community of Westwood. The result, police conducted massive sweeps. Thousands of suspected gang members were arrested and their crack confiscated. It became one of the biggest news stories of the year, receiving national attention.
The media really dramatized the young lady in Westwood, and they should have. And then on the other hand, when you have these day by day in South Central, well, it's a way of life and it's not newsworthy.
1988 became the year Los Angeles vowed to reclaim its streets, but the year ended with another record, 452 gang-related killings.
Maybe at that time there was 100,000 gang members in LA. That's a lot of gang members. And what, a few thousand police? Think about it, right? Let those numbers sink in. The numbers are probably much bigger nowadays. 100,000 gangsters, a few thousand cops, huh? But Crash, ruthless bunch. They knew what they were dealing with, so they had to match the energy of the streets. And the Crash department ended up having a reputation, for lack of better words. A not so good reputation at times. They would bust a head or two to get some answers, right? It may be spray paint on your face if they caught you graffitiing a mural. You guys remember that part in the movie?
We could take you to jail for this. I got a little plan. Maybe we can work something out. You ever heard of Earl Scheib, Holmes? Enough of that shit. What I done? Put masking tape on his ears?
So they were a pretty wild bunch, man. Now let's talk about the plot of the movie. So I guess so it starts. So none of these gangs really exist in real life, right? Cryptoville doesn't exist. The Bloods, they didn't really say what blood set they were from, but then we did have 21st Street, which was the Hispanic, the Latino homies. None of those gangs really exist, but there were areas, they were filmed in areas where gangs really were hanging out. So I'm sure they had to get some sort of permission. They went to, there's a famous, I don't know what to call it, but there's a famous area where one of the oldest Hispanic gangs hangs out, White Fence. And they did a whole scene right there where Hodges and Sean Penn, I can't think of their names off the top, pull up. And they're like, hey, you guys seen any gangsters, man? And then they're like, nah, we ain't seen any gangsters. Y'all see any gangsters? Nah, they're all looking at each other. Actually, it's a very humorous scene.
Nice ride, man.
Yeah, I just what's happening?
Not much. You still smoking that P? Make you stupid, man.
Man, I don't f with juice. This is weed. Pee-wee smoke that stupid shit I do.
You seen any gang members around?
Me? I ain't seen any gang members. You see any gang members?
But that's right there. It's White Fence. I mean, there were certain areas where they were filming right in the hood, man. And that's another thing that intrigued me about this movie was I remember looking at the movie like, oh, that looks like where I live. And some of it was filmed in Long Beach, as a matter of fact. And I think I remember the specific part where I saw it. It was just a quick flash, but I think it was like a Payless shoe store or something. Something popped up, and I was like, oh, I think that's Long Beach. Probably not around to this day, but I remember as a kid, like, that looks like Long Beach. But they called Sean Penn Pac-Man. Pac-Man. Hey, Pac-Man. Oh, I used to love Homegirl. Maria Conchita.
What's the matter with you, Pac-Man? Huh? What's the matter with you, man? Hey. Hey, Pac-Man. Hey. Hey, Pac-Man. Hey, man.
Beautiful. I just want you to know that you're my favorite girl. Maria Conchita, I used to like her. She ended up doing comedy, and she was not that bad. You want me, Pac-Man? All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. Go back, rewind. The beginning of the movie. You know, we see the cops getting ready to hit the mean streets, right? They're giving them the speech. All right, guys, go out there, give it your best. Don't eat too many donuts, get to work, blah, 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 right? So they head out, boom, and then it cuts to a nighttime scene. And off top, we are introduced to Crip DeVille. Dun, 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 dun. Said the rocket don't smoke and the rocket don't joke. Yo, rocket, put the cap on the nigga.
Say rock's gonna pop it and no one's gonna stop it. Look what I got to rock it nuts. Like the damn show. Fire it up, we like to get high so a nigga can die. Check it out. That is our job. And if you think we're the Crips, well, you hit it on the knob.
So they're in the van, hitting some Sherm. Sherm is PCP for my friends out there who don't know what Sherm is. Basically, it's like a cat tranquilizer type of deal where you hit it once, you kind of never go the same again. Like it was a bad thing. It was bad. It was bad back in the day, and it smells. I remember getting a whiff, not because I ever even tried it or would even try it, but I remember getting a whiff of it because someone else in the neighborhood was hitting it. And I remember asking, what is that smell? And someone said, man, that's Sherm.
Abuse of the animal tranquilizer PCP by young people around the nation looking to get high is a growing problem. And today, as Rita Braver reports, experts met to try to spread the word about PCP, that for many users, when the bad trip is over, the nightmare is just beginning.
And drug enforcement analysts say PCP, or angel dust, is a national trend, up in New York and Los Angeles and other cities too. The nation's hospital emergency room warning system shows a 60% increase in PCP episodes from 1981 to 1983 and still rising. PCP is easy to make, just some buckets and chemicals that can be easily bought and mixed almost anywhere.
CRlPS is what they call it. But they're in a van, getting ready to go do a lick on the enemies. Who are the enemies? The B-side. I had someone on my show who made up an interesting point, and even watching the movie, it kind of made a little bit of sense, but he believed that the movie Colors made the Bloods look weak.
And then another homie said, well, man, they made the Bloods look weak, and they did, man. They made High Top and them look like they was punks or something, and that was bullshit. We all know the Bloods ain't no punks, cuz. They far from that bullshit that Colors portrayed them to be.
I thought that was interesting. That was an interesting take. But yeah, so all right, so the Crips and Bloods, boom, they shoot homeboy in the alley. They say, hey, Blood, and they shoot him, boom, and then, it's a done deal. And then mom's crying, and then we get the infamous song, Colors. I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking. I just did a show about Ice-T a few weeks ago, and I'm covering some of the same stuff in this sense, but it's all related, so chill. But don't interrupt me while I'm doing my song. All right, let's take that back. I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking, king of my jungle, just a gangster, stalking, living life like a firecracker, quick as my fuse. Vendettas of death, that's the colors I choose, red or blue, cause of blood. It just don't matter, suckers die for your life when my shotgun scatters. The gangs of LA will never die, just multiply colors. I mean, that song was perfect for the movie. Perfect for the movie. And Ice-T was such a great writer. Ice-T it goes down as one of the better writers on the West Coast. Great writer, man. But they had the whole scene where they're in I'm gonna guess it's county jail, and from what I've heard, that whole scene, like, that was not how it was. It was never like that. But where on one side, it's such a powerful scene too. On one side, it's all red of the cage, and then on the other side it's all blue of the cage, and that scene right there is so powerful. And I bet you that scene right there is responsible for a lot of people getting hyped up and wanting to join a gang.
Okay, now Colors. Okay, first of all, some of that stuff in there, was real. But as far as the way they made the county jail look, that was not real.
How so? Explain that part.
I mean, they not gonna put a bunch of bloods in there. First of all, transgender don't have no weights. They had no, they had Aaron back in the 80s. Yeah, they did on the roof.
Okay.
But they ain't gonna put no bloods up there, and he gonna be on the bench, and they gonna come out and just beat him down. It don't work like that. You know, and they ain't gonna have a bunch of clips on one side, bloods on the other side, and some gay going at it. That part does not exist in the jail.
That was my favorite part too.
Yeah, that does not exist in the jail. You know.
Yeah. Like that scene, shit, I was 9 years old. That shit made me want to join a gang. I was like, man, they look so cool. Sadly, didn't have a male role model growing up. Let's keep it real. Pops wasn't really around, at this time. Stepfather just came in the picture, but it is what it is. But sadly, I was looking up to, and he was a gangster, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's not the point of the story. But it's just like, I didn't have that type of role model to where I thought that was cool. I was like, that is so cool. I even probably said I want to be like that when I grow up. Keep in mind, I'm a 9-year-old stupid little impressionable kid, right? Quickly did I realize, nah, that's not the route I want to go down. I'm pretty sure by the time I was 12, I was like, nah, gangs ain't it. It ain't it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, no, thank you. I got to answer to somebody all the time. No, I'm good. No, I got to do things. I show up to meetings on Mondays and people. Oh, no. Wait, first of all, I got to fight to get in, get jumped by 5 different people. Yeah, no, I'm good. That was just me. That was just me. But I guarantee this movie made a lot of people want to join that life and put on that rag. But yeah, so the movie plays out, right? And we're eventually introduced to 21st Street with the OG Frog and Sylvester Looney Tunes. What's the problem with the Pee-wees, man? Sorry, I know that. I quote that movie all the damn time. It's horrible. But Frog, man, he was a great actor. Eddie De Silva, I do believe that's his name. I apologize. I don't have notes in front of me. I'm just going off memory. But he was a great actor, and he was on a lot of TV shows. He was on a lot of TV shows, and unfortunately, he passed away not too long after this movie came out. Really good actor. Actually, I remember him just in random TV shows. And he always played the cholo, you know what I'm saying? The gangster. But he did a great job. I think he did a great job in this movie. Frog, bang, 21 Street, Holmes. And then they had like a couple black dudes. And going back to me being an impressionable youth, I wanted to be the black dude in the Mexican gang. I just wanted to be the black dude. And for whatever reason, I thought they were super cool back then. Once again, keep in mind, I'm 9, 10, maybe 11. Like this is when you're dumb, right? Most 9, 10 or 11-year-olds are dumb and they look up to the wrong things. But I was like, oh, I thought it was so cool how they had a couple black guys in there. I was like, oh, I want to be those guys. Yeah. This was me as a kid. But like I said, I quickly found out that life was not for me. And I was like, nope, I'm good. I am super good. But yeah, so 21 Street, once again, a fictional gang, not a real gang. And probably a good thing that they didn't use real gang names in this movie. We don't want anyone to think that at this time that we were promoting this life, right? But yeah, so 21 Street, and they had some infamous scenes. They were at the party. They had the redheaded cat, right? The redheaded albino dude. I think that's the guy from Children of the Corn. I think that's the guy from Children of the Corn, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody comment down below. Is that redheaded dude from Colors the same guy from Children of the Corn? I think it is. Once again, I don't have notes in front of me. I just talk. I'm just talking with y'all, man. By the way, what are you guys puffing? Huh? I have this new strain called Zebra Stripes, and it's really good. It's a really good strain. Zebra Stripes. Oh, yeah. It tastes really nice. And I'm actually sipping on some light beer, y'all. I'm on a beer and J kind of day. You feel me? Comment down below. What are you sipping on? What are you puffing on? Even if it's water. Even if you don't puff, I just want to know, what are you doing right now? Comment down below. And also, please, hit that like button if you haven't already. Smash it real quick for me. Just hit that like button, smash it. trying to get this out of the way while I hit my joint. If you can't tell, I'm trying to get all the advertisement shit out of the way. Just hit my like button real quick if you don't mind, please. Like, that's all I ask you to do. Well, it's not all I'm asking you to do. I'm lying. I'm asking you to hit that subscribe button also. If this is the first time that you're joining my channel and you like what you hear, you know, if you're enjoying this, hit that subscribe button, man. We do this live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Saturday, I love hanging out with you live. And then you can always listen on the replay if you like. So I do appreciate you. I do have interviews on my channel. Go down that rabbit hole. Check out my channel. I personally think I have a dope-ass channel. Like, I personally think I do. So I hope you do too as well. But let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about colors. So we see the Crips, right? SAs. The Bloods had more of a smaller role in this movie than I, as someone in hindsight, doesn't understand. I feel like the beef in the whole movie was more between the SAs and the Crips, because they were the ones going back and forth. You know, you had the Bloods. You know, you had High Top, right? Great actor, another great actor, and Don Cheadle. Speaking of great actors, Don Cheadle on the Crip side, Shotgun, great actor.
Colors, I'd moved to LA in '82 to go to school, to go to CalArts to study acting. I moved out here and I really didn't know anything about the LA culture. Day one, I got in my wardrobe and, you know, I'm all blued out, head to foot. And I'm sitting on this park bench and I'm just kind of waiting because we're getting ready to shoot. And this dude comes walking by and I'm just kind of looking at him, you know, like, oh, I wonder if he's an actor. No, he was not. He was not an actor. And he was not acting. Right. His name was J-Bone, and he was for real. And he saw me, and I just looked back at him, and he started walking, you know, just mean mugging me, just walking over to me. And I was like, damn, I'm supposed to be the leader of the Crips. Mm-hmm. I can't get punked day one.
Right.
You know?
Go to your fake game.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, wow, either I'm gonna die or this is gonna be a real interesting moment. So he just walked all the way up to me. He's like, what's up, cuz? I was like, yo, what's up? He's like, what set you with, man? I was like, well, what set you claiming? I was like, I'm just an actor. He's like, all right, I just want to see what the fuck was up. I was like, okay. And then he left, and I was like, wow, this is gonna be a very interesting movie. Right. And then it became, you know, then as things went on, we were shooting one day, and it was 2, 3 in the morning. Everybody's tired, punch drunk. It's the scene where we do the drive-by on the Blood. And I'm supposed to tell him to shut the fuck up in the thing, right? So J-Bo's sitting behind me in the thing, and we get ready to do the shot, and I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. And we cut, and he's like, shut the fuck up. You sound soft as sound like a punch, shut the fuck up. And so I'm like, no, we gotta do this thing for real. So then I was like, for real, J-Bone, shut the fuck up, for real. Right. He was like, what? He's like, I'll smoke you in this car right now. I was like, I'm about to get on the set of a movie for saying my lines as an actor in a scene. There were many incidents like that because all the extras were really Crips. Sean Penn as the cop who we all hated on the set. Right. Because he was always in character.
So he was Pac-Man for real.
Yeah, we hated it. I always wanted to see the movie of the gangbangers though. I was like, this is a cop movie, kinda. Yeah. I kinda wanna see the gangbanger movie.
But I don't know, the Bloods didn't really get a lot of shine in this movie, man. That's just my point of view. My favorite character has to be the character that Damon Wayans played. That boy was shermed out, humping Easter rabbits in the middle of a department store, bro.
T-Bone. I'm not gonna shoot you. Come on, everything's cool. Everything's cool now. Come on, let's go.
Get off me, man. Give me my rabbit, man.
Calm down.
Give me my rabbit.
Calm down, T-Bone.
Give me my rabbit, man. Punk, what's that? You couldn't get none at home, man. Get off me, man.
There's your rabbit,
Get
T-Bone.
Yeah.
There's your rabbit.
I'm talking about T-Bone's in the house. In the house, baby.
Hey, man, give my rabbit, man. Hey, man, give my rabbit. Hey, give me rabbit, man. Hey, T-Bone in the house. T-Bone, give my rabbit, man. Give my rabbit. Yeah, that was a great scene. Classic scene. And that, you can't write that stuff. That has to be improv, bro. Like, you just can't write that. Give my rabbit. Oh, one of my favorite scenes. Ooh, there were a couple as a kid. You know, not to sound too perverted or anything, but as a kid, there was a couple nudie scenes in this movie that I appreciated as well. Right? We saw a couple boobies and we saw a hairy muff. That scene right there was filmed in San Pedro, not too far from Long Beach, where they're walking the girl out with the hairy muff after they had just popped homeboy in the back, man. Man, they shot homeboy, man, while he was banging down Rocket's girl, man. Man, and then there was another naked chick next door, and she just had the muff, boy, and I was like, damn. She looked like she had let's see, what's a reference that I could use? Damn. She looked like she had Bob Marley in between her legs. Nah, that's not a good one. Anyway, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Very beautiful. Good scene, but good movie all in all. I think the movie tells a good story and it has a realistic ending. You know, they all died or went to jail. You know, they were all caught at the end after the drive-by and all that stuff. Unfortunately, we lost Hodges, man. Damn, bro, we lost Hodges. That was sad. I remember as a kid, I cried. I cried when we lost Hodges. He played a good role in that movie. But all in all, I give it an A as far as the acting and things like that. I give it an A for, unfortunately, spreading something that ended up taking a lot of people's lives, tens of probably hundreds of thousands of kids all over the country, nay, all over the world, have lost their life because about 40 years ago, someone popped in the movie Colors and decided, you know what? Let's give this a shot. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And please hit that like button before you bounce. I'm going to ask you really quick one more time. Hit that like button if you don't mind. Hit that subscribe button also if this is the first time joining the channel and you like what you hear. Also, if you are on YouTube, I have a second channel, Dusty Vision Radio. So please subscribe to my second channel, Dusty Vision Radio, right here on YouTube. I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers there. I'm trying to get that bad boy monetized and get that bad boy growing. So that's going to be a whole other spot to get some great content. And I post different content there than I do on this page, a totally different channel. So please go to Dusty Vision Radio right here on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Also, please subscribe to me on Rumble, RUMBLE. It's an app. Now all you have to do is download the app onto your phone. Look for Rumble, RUMBLE, and subscribe to Dusty Vision TV. All one word. Dusty Vision TV. Please do that. I really would hope that you would follow me over to Rumble. I also post content over there, daily content that you're not going to get here. So please go to Rumble. Lastly, I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook, Dusty Vision TV. Thank you all so much. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.